Yes, the shoes are shooing. I love that. Come on. A little commotion for the pointy toes. Come on. Oh my gosh. Okay. Clinical therapist? No, wait. Clinical fairy godmother. Oh my gosh. Okay. Where do I want to start with you? Okay, so let's get right to it. We're entrepreneurs. We face burnout, exhaustion. We don't sleep much. Do we get to see our families? We prioritize our values.
Sometimes.
We try as much as we can. What would be, you've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs as well, really like high profile joints.
Yes.
What is your biggest note for us? We're all in this room. What would you collectively want to tell us that would make us relax a little?
I would say trust your gut, remember your why, and remain anchored in your purpose. I think with the advent of technology, while it's great and it connects us all, it brings in a lot of comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I have some colleagues in the room, and if I thought that Psych Your Mind should be doing what Obstacles Under Recovery is doing, or if it should be doing what Angelina's practice is doing, where's my why? And so I feel like you need to go back to that. Trust your gut, remember your why, and be anchored in your purpose.
I read somewhere, I think it was literally today. Oh, I heard it in a podcast. You only face burnout doing something you don't like. Do you believe that?
I can agree. Agree, and then there's some nuance.
Yeah.
To that, okay, right? So the World Health Organization codifies burnout as a environmental factor. So when the American Psychiatric Association attempted to introduce it into our diagnostic manual, there was a tete-a-tete. And they were like, well, this isn't biologically based, it doesn't start in the head or the body, we can't put it in this book. So they kicked it back over to the WHO and said, this is environmental. And so I have to add the nuance that sometimes we do things that we don't want to do and it can create burnout, but sometimes we just exist and we feel burned out. And I think a lot of us are existing in our bodies, and I'll speak for me as a Black woman, I am tired. I'm tired. And so there's some nuance to that.
Okay. You have some tools for us, right? Everybody, in this QR code up there, she has an entrepreneur blueprint. Can you break that down for a second? What's in that blueprint?
So one of my favorite things, it's actually, I think, toward the bottom left, photographic memory, if I remember correctly, and it is playing offense instead of defense. So to your point about entrepreneurs, we don't sleep, Roro said it earlier, you wake up like in a panic, sometimes 2 a.m., been there, done that, right? Playing offense. So my work days start on Monday, like most people's. Sometimes on Sunday night, if my husband doesn't need my attention or my family doesn't need my attention, I steal away for about an hour and I schedule my emails, and I'm playing offense. Schedule emails, I might peep into who sent me something, asking me for something. So it's scheduled for 8 a.m. so that when everyone else is scrambling to the metro and to their desk, I'm still doing whatever it is I want to do until 11 a.m. when my workday actually starts.
Wow.
And so I think that sets you up for you to run your Monday, for you to run your week instead of your week or your Monday running you. Because how you start, and the words of my great grandmother, how you start is how you finish.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you want to ease into your week, and hopefully you can ease out of your week.
That's really powerful. I never really thought about that, because one thing that I started to pick up was time blocking. Time blocking is my best friend. I'm still working on it, but time blocking is essentially you give yourself either 30 or an hour increment of time, you get the thing done, and if you didn't finish, you save it till tomorrow, or you give yourself another 30. But either way, you like are conscious of how much time is going by, so you're not like, oh my gosh, it's 5 o'clock and I only did this one thing, right? What are some other tools that you might give us as entrepreneurs that can just help us in our workflow?
Yeah, so workflow, I love the time blocking. I think trying something new is also important. Loyalty can be a liability.
Ooh,
right?
wait, say that again.
Loyalty can be a liability.
Please go deeper. Please. That was a moment, thank you.
Okay, so, agility in your thinking versus rigidity in your thinking. And so humans, animals don't like change. None of us do. I don't say that as a therapist. I personally don't like change. And there has been a lot of change in the past 12 months of my both personal and professional worlds. And so I think you have to make sure you're checking your balances. You said learn AI. It might be a little creepy. I can't use it in the ways that a lot of you all can use it, but I do use it like a personal assistant, if you will. And so you might be used to doing something for X amount of time, and then as Rower said, you might have to check your system. You might have to replicate it. Something gets turned on its head. I've had interns come in, and it's like a toddler throwing a tantrum, and it's like, oh, that system don't work no more. I gotta redo it. So, check, loyalty is a liability, and it can cost you money, it can cost you time, it can cost you relationships, and personal and also large relationships. I mentioned to one of the breakout groups about like banks. Sometimes you have to explore a little bit because the current bank that you have may not have the products and the means, and so you have to kind of broaden yourself and say like, I can do this, I can do hard things, and we're gonna get this done.
One more thing on that, because it's hard to assess when somebody's like, say a person, right, a relationship, they've been sticking around, and it's like, great, this is my person, but maybe we don't have the exact skills that get us to the next level. How do we want to assess that, or how do we change that? Do we coach them, or leave them, or what? Not leave them.
I don't believe
Don't leave them. Don't leave them. They stayed.
Don't leave them. That is so important. Sometimes they don't know that they're about to be left. So if you never tell them that, hey, you get ready to get left behind, you're not doing them any world of good to the next person, and then it could breach the relationship, right? So if it's a call-in, it's a call-in. Maybe say, hey, I see that you're falling short on these expectations or what our agreement is. How can I better assist you? And I've had to do that, and it's a fine line. So clinical, as a clinical supervisor, the supervisions that I have, I am assessing the case that the intern or the resident is seeing, but then I'm also hearing about what's stopping them or blocking them in that case. So then I'm kind of getting in their head. But mind you, I'm not their supervisor as far as like signing a paycheck, nor am I their therapist, but I'm getting all of that. And I'm not really the professor, but I'm teaching real world experience. And so if I don't tell them, and the professor doesn't tell them, and the client doesn't tell them, they go graduate, they get their license, they get in the real world, and then someone says, I don't like the way they handle that. That's on me. I feel like that's on me. So that's a conversation you have to start.
That's hard conversations, but they help us grow. Where can we find kindness is clarity? Who said that?
Yes.
I'm learning that. Kindness is clarity. Kindness is good. Where can we find you?
All right, so follow me on @thereal_psychyourmind or psychyourmind.com, and feel free to use the Entrepreneur Blueprint to help get you through your week.
Yes, you guys. Everybody make some noise for Krista! All right, so that was our very last panelist, you guys. Aww. But we're going to turn the table. In just a moment, we're going to get